Okay, I'm gonna get rid of my butterfly layer. I'm just gonna delete that one. If you have it, delete it. So here's something that editors like to do, and it's a very common workflow for editors. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna move your playhead until the plane just begins to touch the ground, like right there. See where the smoke comes off the wheels? So just about right there. So what you want to do is maybe you want to do a hard cut and move and show a clock at that point, and then come back to it touching the ground. So you could manually split this thing and move it aside and stick in another video, but there's another way to do that. So you can let's go to the sources folder, and there is a I think there is a clock here. Yeah, clock skyline.mov. Now in the project panel, if you double click in the on the footage in the project panel, it brings up a footage layer, not a composition layer, but a footage layer, and it has its own timeline. Okay, its own little timeline, and you can trim this down to what you need just for your part here. So for example, I'm going to take this and move it so it's going to be, I'm looking at the clock while I'm doing this. So I don't know, maybe I want to show that the thing touched down at exactly 9 o'clock, right there. Okay, so that's going to be the in point. So I clicked on this, and that's the in point. And maybe a few seconds later, why I don't know, but like a few minutes later in time, and here's the out point. So it's just this little snippet right here, right? Okay, so now wherever my playhead is in the main timeline, I can do one of two things. I can overlay that footage, this little piece, right on top of that. So let's try that. I'm going to overlay it on top, so you can see now that this clock is going to show up. It's going to go plane, clock, back down to plane, right? So that's an overlay. That's what in the footage panel. In the footage panel, that's what this button does. Now I'm going to undo that. Command Z. So I'm back in the footage panel, and I want to put go to my composition and make sure my playhead is at right when it's touching the ground again, right there. Okay. Now there's another way to stick this footage in. What if I wanted to split this layer and then put this little clip right where that thing gets split, and then move everything else down to the right? So move all this footage to the right. So that's what this button does. It's called the ripple insert edit. So in the footage panel, trim your stuff and then ripple it. Bingo, look at that. It splits that layer and sticks the part that I want in and moves everything else over. Everything over. So now, look at this footage. It touches, it shows the clock, and then it continues where this thing got split. So in the footage panel, that's really useful. Trimming in the footage panel, trimming down with the in and out points, and then doing an overlay or a insert edit. Okay, be aware of that. And to get to the footage panel, you double click on a piece of footage here.